Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading for our collective here on YouTube. So if you'd like a more specific message from the reading, I do really recommend liking the video and subscribing to the channel because I've noticed that liking and subscribing are forms of energy transfer that do tend to allow me to be more specific with these messages and pick up on your energy more specifically. So I'm going to start by shuffling the energy oracle cards and getting into the messages. So what do you need to know at this time? Here we have the third eye chakra, and I'm picking up a message for someone who felt a major surge or wave of anxiety recently. So if you felt a wave of anxiety that came on very suddenly and randomly recently, then this video is for you, because the anxiety that you felt is actually connected to your intuition. And what I'm getting is that you may have the tendency to be hard on yourself when you get these anxious feelings because you were taught that they just kind of keep you from doing the things that you need to do during the day, when in actuality, you are a very, very powerful, intuitive person. You are much more connected to the spiritual realm than the average person. And I'm getting that because of your spiritual connectedness, you often have these manifestations of what other people label as anxiety, which is really just a moment in which you are actually picking up on a surge of spiritual energy. And what I'm getting is that one easy reframe for you right away, whenever you're experiencing this quote unquote anxiety, instead of telling yourself, oh, I'm anxious, say, I'm experiencing a spiritual surge of energy, and give yourself that reframe and that time and space to figure out why it is that you might be feeling this way, whether it's some combination of circumstances happening in your own life, or maybe it's something that you are picking up on that's happening with someone that you care about or in the collective or something like that. Because I'm getting that you actually have this really special spiritual role here on earth. And often I'm hearing when you're being called into action in some way, you will actually feel what your mind labels as anxiety. So often when you're feeling called to go within and to receive some kind of spiritual information or a download, or you're getting some kind of psychic hit, or your body's intuitive signals are trying to tell you something, you may interpret and define that as anxiety when it's actually just this ability I'm hearing to answer the call spiritually. Like you pick up on these spiritual signals that most people are not able to hear. And that is actually a gift. I'm also hearing that whatever you do for your work, I feel that you are destined to be actually utilizing these gifts or sensitivities in your favor. If you found this video, I feel that it's a message from your spirit guides, from your ancestors, from your higher self, that you are meant to be using your spiritual gifts when it comes to your work or your job. I may be speaking to someone who has been in a particular line of work that feels as though it's really draining to you and almost like contradicting your spiritual gifts or talents or abilities. And what I'm getting is that you may have found yourself pushed to maybe starting a spiritual business or starting to find ways to work using your creativity or using your communication skills or your ability to like write or paint or create music or whatever this is for you. And this may feel really scary for you because a lot of people will tell you growing up that very few people, quote unquote, make it using those kinds of gifts or their creative talents. But the thing that other people haven't been factoring into the equation is that you are a very rare person naturally, that you naturally have these inclinations and abilities. And I'm hearing that phrase about how if it's your calling, it will keep calling you. because I feel this will reach someone who has felt certain passions and gifts resurfacing for them over and over again across the course of their lifetime. And you've now manifested yourself in a way to see this video, like your soul, your higher self manifested you to see this video to remind you of your true calling and your true destiny. I'm getting the word comfortable. So for someone here, maybe you've been doing something for a while that makes you feel comfortable, or life has felt comfortable, but it's not felt exhilarating to you, or it's not felt like you've really been doing the things that you want to do or using your gifts and abilities that you want to use in certain ways. With the deceit card, it may feel as though almost like you're living a lie in a way. Not to say that you're being actively deceitful, that's not your personality, but you may feel as though your life itself just is a lie in the sense that it's not a reflection of what you really want to be doing in this world. And you've felt the new beginning pushing you into it with the Sun card. You've been feeling waves of inspiration lately. So I'm feeling somehow this surge of anxiety that you felt. It's somehow like a signal. It's like your body trying to let you know that in a way, like you've been living in the wrong reality. And what I mean by that is it's like you've been subjecting yourself to doing certain things on a regular basis that have been making you feel like you're draining your soul, or like you're not really utilizing your true gifts or passions. And I feel that you have been nudged by like your spirit, by your higher self, to pour more of your energy into those things that really light you up. And I'm hearing to trust yourself. And if you really want to lock in this self-trust, type in the comments section, I trust myself, and really affirm that to yourself. Maybe even include that in your daily affirmations. I'm getting something in general that speaking affirmations to yourself will be really helpful, because I'm getting something about words of affirmation in general. Maybe that's someone's love language who's listening here. I got something about the state of Kentucky for someone. I'm seeing a bridge for someone listening. Maybe this is you bridging from this life that has felt like you're living a lie into this life where you're really living in the sun, where you're really using your true gifts and abilities to create the life that you desire. And you can feel yourself on that bridge, but there's almost been a part of you afraid to trust yourself to take that first step. And so again, affirm to yourself, I trust myself, because you can trust myself. You can trust yourself. You're very intuitively guided. You've always been intuitively connected. And I guarantee you can look back on your life and see so many examples of times that you trusted yourself and magical ways that that worked out for you. And I feel like now is one of those times in your life. I'm hearing you have to trust yourself more than ever right now. But to go back to this words of affirmation thing, I feel like I'm speaking to someone who really didn't get a lot of words of affirmation growing up. I am seeing like parents who aren't affirming or praising a child. So you may have felt as though maybe you were even overly criticized or overly disciplined, but never really given those words of encouragement and affirmation. I'm hearing appreciated for your success, but not your true talent. So you may have felt as though whenever you would succeed on a surface level or like hit some kind of milestone as a child, it would be celebrated by your parents. But whenever you were cultivating your gifts or sharing your creativity, that wouldn't really be praised, or that wouldn't really be admired or affirmed in the same way, even though that was actually you cultivating the most valuable parts of yourself that were ultimately destined to bring you the most wealth and success in this life as well. Because what I'm getting is, ironically, it's almost like you've been lied to in a sense, like by the world. You've been lied to because not that people were actively, consciously trying to lie to you. Like many people had your best interest at heart. But when I say you've been lied to, what I mean is they may have not understood it themselves. But what they told you is that there was no way to succeed or to make money or to be happy doing the things that you really wanted to do in this life, whether it was like dancing or singing or creating or whatever this was for you, when actually the opposite was true. Those gifts, those talents were a gold mine for you all along. And I feel like this is that moment where you're meant to be discovering that truth for yourself, but you can only discover that gold mine that is within you if you have the courage to trust yourself. So type in the comments below, I have a gold mine within me because I feel such a value from what you have to offer the world. But in order for you to receive back the abundance and the success for those things that you offer, the first step you have to take is believing in your own value. For some reason, I'm hearing something about the value of your story. So for some of you, this may involve like sharing your story. Maybe you're like a writer or a painter or a musician, and somehow through your art, you're sharing your story or sharing yourself. And you may have had people in your life tell you, oh, your story isn't that interesting or it's not that special, but that is not true. Your story is meant to be shared and to activate others. And I'm hearing there are things about you that if they were shared with the world, maybe you're going to become a content creator and you're starting to share your story online. And there are going to be millions of people around the world that resonate with your story, that maybe see a part of themselves in that story and are inspired to become a better version of themselves because you had the courage to see the value in your own story and share it with others. But with the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, I feel that if you've been getting a lot of anxiety lately, this is actually because there's a spiritual activation happening within you. It's activating you into this next level of your purpose. And I'm hearing something about the spiritual becoming material. So it feels like for a while you've been having these realizations internally, but now you're meant to be putting them into action. So you may have been on this spiritual awakening journey. You may have been really like doing deep layers of inner work within yourself and really working on yourself internally. But I'm hearing now is the time for all of that inner work to start showing on the external. And if you'd like assistance powerfully shifting your energy and stepping into your dream life, I really would recommend a few different subliminals I've created. One is called Quantum Shift, because this will literally help you to take that quantum leap in your life that I can see your soul has been asking for. I also would recommend Highest Vibrational Timeline, because this will help you to get the energy positively moving in every area of your life when it comes to your finances, your work, your life purpose, your relationships, your self-image, your happiness in life generally. It will help to get all of that energy moving so that you start naturally feeling inspired towards these action steps that you are meant to be taking right now. So to get these two subliminals, you can download my Sound and Soulful app, and you can try them out free when you create a free trial account in the app. So the link to get started with that is in the pinned comment and description box below. But I want to channel a few more messages for you before we go here. So I also got the Garden and the Gate, and I am speaking to someone who has felt very lonely lately. I'm hearing something about your inner circle falling apart or friendships falling apart. So you may have even felt that you lost friends recently or lost romantic situations, or like people had been weeded out of your life. This is because you are destined, I'm hearing, to either be famous, to be in the public eye, or to have very high levels of success in your field, whatever that looks like for you. And so because of that, you are being isolated for the purpose of being elevated. So essentially, people have been weeded out of your life that the divine knows cannot go with you where you're going, and you are going places. I got a wave of chills as I said that, but you are going some powerful places. And so not everyone can come with you. And that's something that's really important for you to remember, that anyone who suddenly seemed to leave your life, it was all part of a plan with walking away and strategy. Yeah. I see there was like this divine strategy at play here, even if it felt senseless or confusing, why you were betrayed by certain people or why certain people just suddenly disconnected from you or didn't want anything to do with you. This is because they were being spiritually removed from your life, because you are going places that they may not be able to go, that they might not be able to follow you. And your circle is meant to be, I'm hearing, strong and small right now. So you may feel like you only have a couple really close people to you, but that's because you are about to be elevated in a huge way and on a massive scale. You could even type in the comments, I am being elevated, to really lock in this quantum shift, this quantum leap that seems to be happening in your life. And it's happening now because you've recently prepared yourself for this. I mean, yes, ever since you incarnated here on earth, you've been destined to have this quantum leap moment, to be famous or successful or in the public eye, or just seeing your own form of success, whatever that looks like for you, from utilizing your soul gifts or your creative talents, whatever those are for you. But the only way you could really activate that like destiny timeline was by actually working on yourself. And so I'm getting that for the past while, maybe 2 to 3 years, I'm getting for some of you, you've been working really hard on yourself. I'm getting letters L-E-R-O and also Y, could spell the name Leroy, could just be a letter in someone's name here. But what I'm getting is you've been working on yourself heavily the past few years, and you may have thought that you would just be doing the inner work forever because it seemed endless. But nope, you've reached the point where you are about to be elevated, because it's almost like where your inner work is meeting with your destiny, and it's creating this moment of leap for you, a moment of a massive upgrade. It couldn't have happened if both of those elements were not there. This moment of destiny would have came and went if you hadn't been doing the inner work to be ready for it. But on the flip side, you could have done all the inner work in the world, and if it wasn't really your soul's intention to experience that kind of timeline, it still wouldn't have happened for you. But I'm getting that even from a young age, you always knew that you were different and special, and it's going to now be revealed to you why you always felt that way, and that was actually your intuition speaking to you all along. So I just saw the number 1616. That feels like a really synchronistic place to close the reading. If this resonated for you, leave me a comment. Let me know how it connected. Subscribe to the channel so you get more videos like this that may relate directly and personally to your life and to your journey. And if you would like to use these subliminals I mentioned earlier to help you shift your energy in a massive way and to be ready for this moment of leap and to take those necessary action steps, then the link to try out my subliminals app and get started is in the pinned comment and description box below. Otherwise, I'm sending you all so much love. Have an amazing day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.